shelf by just observing what combination of parts work well. You get this, a really fast, fun car to drive. I chose a LS style V8. It's actually a CBM built block. Everything's aftermarket. There's nothing GM necessarily in this engine. You throw a Wisefab angle kit on it, the thing just becomes insane. Field suspension coilovers make this thing go over any type of terrain, so you can just really stay committed. S chassis are pretty small cars, but when you look under the hood and back here, there's actually tons of space to put a big radiator in the back and shifting the weight to the back of the car so we can load their tires and get a bunch of traction. I've competed in S14 since 2011. I've won in this car, podium multiple times in this car. I love this thing. Now we're going into top 16. I know I have to battle with Peter Vicek, and he's a solid driver, so I know his car is fast because I've set up his coilovers with my company, Field Suspension, and know that I gotta expect a really fast and precise run from him.
Good luck, man, you got it.
Honestly, I'd rather battle someone like Peter, because I know I could just drive as hard as I possibly want to.
Wow, Bakchis right there.
I beat Vicek, he's beat me. Peter qualified a little bit lower, so that gives me the confidence to be able to lay down at least solid lead runs.
Peter's a very good driver, very fast. We've been chasing him all year. This is the time we're going to get him.
Nobody really knows this, but half the time Peter's out there driving, it's actually James driving, but we got to keep that on the down low.
Basically, this top 16 battle is like a final battle. Peter's that caliber of a driver.
Bakchis will lead. Initiating both of them simultaneously. This is what I'm talking about. Look at that.
I set a pace and the run just feels good. I put the car where it needs to be.
Final front clip, and this is where Peter finishes. You see him just lunging forward, gets into the side of Bakchis.
You were very tight on the first and second clip. He overshot the first clip a little. You gotta stick to him and do what you do. All right, man. Thanks.
My spotter in my ear is telling me, hey, Odie, you did a great lead run, but Peter was on your door. Now the pressure's on me. I need to follow him very well in order to advance.
That was an awesome transition to the last outer. He's going to have to turn it on fully.
Here we go, Peter Vicek out front.
I chase him and I initiate right on his door. I have to slow down not to collide into Peter, and that set me off pace. We're going almost 100 miles an hour, so fast that if you slow up a little bit or you go offline, you can't carry that speed. I caught up to Peter on the last section, but I already knew I was sitting at a disadvantage.
You can see Odie overshoots that first inside clip in the chase position.
When I look at the Jumbotron after our run, I can see that Peter did a solid run leading. I kind of knew it before the judges made the call that Peter's going to be advancing.
And Peter Vicek gets the victory, taking out our birthday boy. Odie, unfortunately.
I was feeling pretty down. You know, it's my birthday. I was like, I'm on one today.
Yeah. This track is hard. You cannot see anything after transition, before transition. You have to guess.
Between the two of them, it's just a toss-up of who can do it. Odie's cars seem to be really fast, but Peter's pretty consistent this year. He's sitting in third for a reason.
I was kind of down. Then I started paying attention to all the runs afterwards.
Peter closing the door on James.
That's Peter!
And he kept on advancing. Kind of started taking weight off my shoulders that I got beat by Peter and he's just on one today. I'm still not happy about going out in top 16, but at least I went out to someone that was just killing it today.
You guys are still in? Yeah. Oh yeah. Grade 8, bud. Can you put our beers in the cooler for us though? Oh, hey, we'll give you a couple. We'll be out here for at least another 2 hours.
So next, grade 8, JTP. Our grade 8 battles against Justin Pollock in New Jersey. He was one tough battle.
All aboard the Falcon train, Justin Pollock.
Justin was getting faster and faster every lap all weekend. This track is like all about speed. How much dig, how much traction you can have.
Like that ice? And they're cooling down, bro.
Power, boy. They're putting ice on the supercharger because superchargers build heat, so that'll make maximum power because he knows we got it.
Talking about two crazy people. Both good drivers, both insane drivers. Both very hard-headed people. I actually have no idea which way it's gonna go. I can't wait to watch them thrash though.
Don't you think JPP's at least got 80 pounds on that? Yeah. He's a dad though, he's got a dad bod. Matt's tiny.
He's a nice small jockey.
Yeah.
You need a nice small jockey.
Matt's size and weight makes it so that we can balance the car real easy.
A small jockey with big feet so we can keep the chicks around.
When I started drifting, it was all Japanese cars, even myself in a 240 SX. But now, look where we've become. Never thought that I would be in a Corvette battling against a Mustang. Pure American muscle out there on a drift track.
Really equally matched drivers. Both of them like to go hard. Justin Paul getting that chase position. Field, nasty little flick there into that first clip. Transition through. Both those guys barely just kissing. Past the final front flip into the outside sweeper.
Had a ton of confidence going in, and that's all due to the changes that we made before our bye run.
Matt Field punts that second front clip. Flying through. Justin Paul right into the lightning. Matt Field had good proximity there. And around that final finish line, look at that, staying on it. It looks like it is unanimous. Matt Field gets the win.
You got the win. It was pretty straightforward. Justin drove hard. He had a seriously good line, a ton of angle. I just was a little bit closer. That's kind of all that came down to it. Fuck that little thing's fast. After that battle, I realized I'm in the zone. I'm driving good. All right, who's next? Chelsea DeNofa, my boy. Chelsea's definitely one of my best friends. For me to see him do so well in the Final Four, in that Mustang that I know he's been struggling with, I was pumped. Chelsea and I are very similar drivers. Balls to the wall, wide open, throw it in hard. I knew that he was gonna pull some crazy, wild stuff. There might be body contact.
Two rad drivers that go hard. Looks like Matt's got his car dialed. I know he's been working on it a bit. We've come into our own this weekend with the Ford Mustang RTRs, and Chelsea is on fire right now, so may the best man win.
Well, if you got a nut allergy, be prepared. These guys are about to get nuts. Field and DeNofa, who's going to the final. Field initiates. There you go, that's what he's talking about to get nuts.
My lead run was solid, safe, smart. He was there, but
DeNofa doesn't go all the way out to the touch and go. Compromises that. Little correction, bobble there. Very fluid run there from Matt Field.
Chelsea and I, we both want to win really, really bad.
And there it is once again. But a wide swing for him way off of that first front clip.
I think Chelsea made a couple of mistakes.
Whoa, Doctor, look at that. Wow. Unreal.
If I would have got my entry right, I would have been in your shit.
Oh, you believe it?
Well, I just went I was at your angle and at your
Ryan
back.
says Matt Field, as does all the judges. Matt Field gets the win.
I can't believe you had enough momentum after blowing clips 1 and 2 to throw it like that,
Oh,
you know?
yeah, dude. It was
So it always feels good when you beat your friend. We're both the people who are talking shit to each other about who's gonna win and who's better or whatever. To come out on top feels great. I was laughing until I was like, oh shit. You know, I've been on the podium once this year already. This will be the second time, but I was on the wrong step last time. So we want to change that this time. After my battle, I'm sitting there watching the run.
Osbo, Visick, who's going against Field in the finals?
I was crossing my fingers that I was gonna get Osbo. Thought I had a much better chance of beating Frederick because we just beat him in Seattle. And I truly think that our car is better at this track. That also helps Chelsea. If Peter gets knocked out, then that means Chelsea gets third.
And it looks like Visick, as I said, had a window, left a window open.
Yeah. When I saw that we drew Osbo, I was like, all right, I'm ready. Car's ready. Whew.
This is a really important battle for both of these guys.
Are you guys pumped? St. Louis. Frederick Osbo will lead. Fire, the Black Magic finals are here. Let's yell send it so they can hear us all the way across the Mississippi. 1, 2, 3. Here we go, Osbo. Transition around that second front flip. That's what you're talking about, Ron. That clean air. Looks very confident.
I'm closing in, we're golden. Transition, and I tried to time this transition out perfectly where there would be no room between his rear bumper and my front bumper.
Very confident. Cool combo, like, oh! And Matt Field makes contact. He knew he had to risk it or no biscuit.
I mean, Osbo kind of made a correction, and it kind of caught, I think, Matt off guard. I think they deemed Matt at fault, though.
It's the sport of drifting. I know Frederick's gonna be right there, so there's no running away. So the only thing that I can do is just run my line, dump a bunch of angle, see what happens.
Throwing it into that first front clip. Now transition into the second.
Obviously, we're all good enough drivers that it's very rare that we make mistakes out here.
Here comes Matt Field. Into that outer zone.
Fortunately for me, I made the mistake.
Working it, massaging it. Frederick Osbo doing exactly what he needs to do in order to get this victory. And it looks like it will be Osbo.
You know, today, since it was my birthday, there's obviously some reflecting going on. And the takeaway was, don't get too wrapped up into over-analyzing everything about this sport. When you're actually in the moment enjoying it, I feel like that is when your competitive nature takes the right course and puts you where you need to be. Moving forward, I gotta remind myself of that. You gotta enjoy this because that's when you perform the best.
This is the second time that I've had champagne drenched on my suit at the end of a weekend, but it's disappointing. It's not number one. The team is happy but not satisfied, but for right now, I'm gonna kick back, have a beer, enjoy the moment, but not forget to focus on Texas because I think we have a strong chance there.